What's up, friends? Welcome back to Patio. My name's Jake. You're watching Run Cook. Can I call you friends? It's been about 9 months. I think we're at that point in our relationship. Today, my friends, I'm going to show you how to cook one of the best darn pork chops you've ever had. Now, I love me some pork. I love pork chops. I like it fried. I like it grilled. I like it smoked. Today, we're going to do the best of both worlds. And we're going to start with this Snake River Farms. This is a 12-ounce Kubota pork. Now, Kubota pork is a step above your traditional pork. Think of it like kind of like the Wagyu of pork. It's very good quality. It's more expensive. But Snake River Farms has some, and it is absolutely delicious. Now, I've said it numerous times, when it comes to your meat, you only get great results when you start with a great product. All right, so if you're gonna go to the grocery store and you're gonna buy that select meat, maybe they have some entry-level choice or something like that. It's just not good quality meat, right? You want a good quality choice, or prime preferably, and then you go up from there. If you get some Angus steak, some great steak there, and then you get into dry aged, some Wagyu. There's a whole bunch of different levels, but go to your butcher and get your meat there, or order online. I use a couple different places. Snake River Farms is one of my go-tos. They've got Wagyu beef, they've got this pork. It's always great. They've got bulk provision packs you can buy in bulk. Lafredia Meats out of New Jersey is another place I use. There's LaBelle's in New York, a little bit pricey, but good quality meat. Lafredia's is my go-to, and Snake River Farms is my go-to. I use them a lot. But let's tell you what we're doing here. So we're gonna start with this guy, and I brought out my little cutting board just so I don't have to wash the big cutting board. It is a little heavy carrying in and out of the house. So let's cut this guy open. Now, like I said, this is a 12-ounce pork chop. This guy is going to be delicious. Look at that guy. It's got some protective wrap around it. We're going to take that off. Try and keep my one cutting board clean. Now, number one, I like the presentation of this guy. But number two, it's a nice big pork chop. And who doesn't love a big piece of meat? I do. So we're gonna do a couple different steps here. So this is gonna take some time, right? First we're gonna season this. Now we've got some salt and pepper. I fresh grind the pepper. We're using Diamond kosher salt. Now, if you're one of those people like me who use Morton kosher salt for many, many years, throw that out. It's just not great salt. I'll put a link below. I buy this on Amazon. I usually buy the double pack. Salt doesn't go bad, but your taste buds will thank you. It's a big difference in the quality of the salt, especially if you make like a homemade pasta. The salt, kosher, or the Diamond kosher salt is way better. So we're gonna do this nice and simple. We're gonna do a little bit of salt, a little bit of fresh ground pepper. I'm going to take this up another little bit of a notch here. We've got a little bit of onion powder. Totally optional. Salt and pepper is all you need. I like onions, and we're going to do some fried onions with this, so a little bit of onion powder won't hurt. Light bit of garlic. Don't need too much. Keep these guys open. Pat that in there. And we'll do the same thing on the other side here. It's a big piece of meat, so don't be afraid to use a little bit of salt on it. We're going to pat in the pepper there. All right. Suck up some of that salt on this side. Now don't forget, around the outside, you want some flavor in every bite. Ooh, careful with that salt. A little dab will do you. Pepper over here. All right, so now we're in pretty good shape. We got her seasoned just how we want. All right, so this guy's looking good. We're gonna throw it on the grill here. So pay attention to how we have this positioned. I've got it right near the smokestack. That's the maximum amount of smoke, and I've got my bones facing towards the smoke, right? What we're gonna do here is we're going to have our smoke rolling into those bones. I'm gonna cut off the bones, I'm gonna chew on some smoke bones, get some of that real intense smoke there right by the meat and the bones, which would be great. But hold up, we don't hear anything going on in the pellet grill. The yoder's not even working yet. What's going on here? Well, that's because we're gonna take the first step and we're gonna do a cold smoke first. So I've talked about this numerous times on the channel. This is a amazing smoke tube. I have a version of this. I'll put it down below. Works the same way, but I'll put a link to one down below. These are really handy to have, whether you use it on the yoder, use it on your gas grill. You want to add some smoke, you can use it on your Komodo Kamado. For the Komodo Kamado, I actually have a dedicated cold smoker. I'm actually gonna share that video with the next week. I use it, go over the setup and all that about it. It's great to have. But if you don't have one of those, these work great. And what I'm doing here, I've got some hickory wood. We're gonna fill up our pellets here. And we don't need too much. This is probably too much because we're only gonna smoke this for just over an hour. But you can see, we've got some pellets down in here. I'm gonna lay this right in the middle. It's always a good day when you can break out the torch. Now we're gonna get these good and lit. We wanna make sure that we've got lots of pellets burning because we wanna get the maximum amount of smoke here. I'm gonna let that burn for a little bit. So we're gonna let this burn just for about a minute. I wanna make sure that we've got a whole bunch of pellets going, and then we're gonna blow it out and let it smoke away. Been about a minute, let's give this guy a blowout. All right. Now we got some smoke. So we're gonna put this at the one end, close this up, and right away we've got smoke pouring out of here. Now if you really wanna keep some smoke circulating, you just turn on the power here. Now we've got on our fan, the pellets are not gonna start until I hit the start button. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this baby smoke for about an hour, maybe an hour and 15. That's gonna put some good smoke into it. And then we'll get on the next steps. Cheers. Been about 55 minutes. What I'm gonna do here, lots of smoke into it. I'm just gonna give it a quick turnaround. Just to let some smoke into the other side. The pellets are almost burnt out anyhow, so we're just gonna let it go for about another 15 minutes, and then we'll get on the next steps. We're at an hour and 15 minutes total time. Got lots of smoke in this guy, we're good there. Take this guy off. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the smoking tube. We've only got a couple pellets there left. We're gonna put that off to the side. And now we're gonna fire up the yoder. All right, so as our yoder gets up to temperature, we're gonna put this back in the fridge. We've got lots of flavor on it, but I want this cold because when we hit this grill, I wanna get a nice crust built up on the outside of it. So like I said, we're putting the yoder at 450. We're gonna cook this probably in around 13 to 14 minutes aside. That's going to get us some nice crust on here, give us some nice flavor, and I'll show you when we're ready to put it on the yoder. So we've got some onion here, we've got a cast iron pan with some olive oil in it. Yoder is up to about 440 right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here, we're going to let it get heated up. We're going to throw our onions in. I got some hickory smoked salt. We'll put a little bit of that onto the onions. And one thing I forgot to mention is we're using hickory pellets the entire time in the hopper here and in the smoking tube. So let's get this guy on. We'll put that over the firebox so it gets up to temperature, and then we'll start to saute these. And then once we've got some color on that, we're going to move it out of the way and just let it absorb some of the wood pellet flavor, and we'll get cooking our pork chop. All right, so our cast iron pan is up to temperature. We're going to drop our onions in here. What we're going to do is we're going to drop some of this smoked salt on there. Just mix that in there. And we're just going to let that go for a little while. Now it's going to take a little bit longer because we don't have a direct fire under there, but it's going to allow the onions just to get a little softer and start to cook. And maybe in about 5 minutes we'll start to put our pork on. It's been 10 minutes. Onions have got some great color on them. Just kept stirring them, but they definitely got some good color on them. So what we're going to do, get rid of this guy. I'm just going to move the onions off this side, and we're going to throw this bad boy right on. Got some nice sizzle there. And we're going to leave this closed. So we want to cook this a good 12-13 minutes aside. I want to get some color on that, and then we'll flip it, and then we'll start monitoring temp. It's been 13 minutes. Let's see what we're working with. Pork looks really good. Onions look good. They're getting a little crispy. We're going to pull these off. Let's look at our pork. Pork's got some nice color to it. We're going to flip that over. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to cook that up to temperature. Pork, if you're just cooking a pork chop or whatever, 145 is your target temperature, 150 somewhere in there. Long gone are the days where you have to cook it till it's 160. A little bit of pink is okay. I personally usually pull it off right around 143, let it carry over so it ends up around 148, somewhere in there. I'll bring you back once we're close. We'll pull it off, we'll let it rest, and I'll show you the final product. Been another 13 minutes, so we're 20 minutes total. Let's check our temp. 138. There we go. Now I did turn this up to 490 on the other side. Wanted to get a little bit more color into it. $135. So we're in pretty good shape. We're gonna let it go for a little bit. I'm gonna keep it turned over on the other side just to keep getting some color. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Almost done. All right, so it's been there 3 minutes. I think we're done. Oh yeah. Check out that guy. That's delicious looking. We're gonna let that rest for a little bit. We're gonna put this guy back on just to warm up our onions, but we're gonna turn off our yoder, let it cool down. That's just gonna let our onions warm up for a little bit. We're gonna let this cool off. Now what I'm gonna do, I don't like the meat to sit on a board. We wanna keep it, we wanna let some air go around it and let it cool off. That way we don't suck out some of the juices. But we're gonna let that sit there for probably about 10 minutes. That'll give the onions time to warm up, and then we'll see how it tastes. The moment's come, it's time to try it. Let's see what we're working with. Look at all that juice. Got some onions down here. Right away. I said I was going to chew on the bone. All right. Got yourself some ribs here. Some good stuff. Most important piece here, you gotta have some onions on it. I don't know what it is about pork chops and fried onions, especially a smoked pork chop like this. The onions just kind of melt with it, really brings out the flavor. This is absolutely delicious. Like I said, it's one of my favorite things. This one definitely knocked out of the park. I'm gonna tear this up. I'm supposed to be cooking a steak for dinner after this. I'm gonna have to have some more of this first. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I appreciate you supporting the channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. That makes me pretty happy. Been 9 months. If you like what you saw today, add yourself to the list. Don't forget to subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Do new videos every weekend. I'll see you soon.